Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people read the same book, follow the same advice, start the same habit, and 6 months later, one has transformed their life, the other has quietly given up. Why? Is it discipline? Is it intelligence? Is it motivation? Or is it that they chose the wrong method for their brain? Today we're going to talk about two powerful approaches to self-transformation: Atomic Habits by James Clear and the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen. Both promise small improvements. Both promise lasting change. Both are backed by real-world success. But here's what nobody tells you. One of them might quietly sabotage you, and the other might feel effortless. Let me explain.
Meet Sarah. She is disciplined, smart, and driven. She reads Atomic Habits. She builds a tracker. She creates a morning routine. She stacks habits. She tracks streaks. Day 1, success. Day 2, success. Day 3, success. By day 21, she feels unstoppable. Then, one morning, she oversleeps. The streak breaks. That night, she looks at her habit tracker. The empty square stares back at her, and suddenly, it doesn't feel like she broke a streak. It feels like she broke her identity. That's the hidden pressure of structured systems. Now pause. There is nothing wrong with Atomic Habits. In fact, it's one of the most powerful behavior design books ever written. It teaches 4 simple laws. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. It shifts you from outcome goals to identity goals. Instead of, I want to lose 10 kilos, you become, I am someone who takes care of my health. That shift is genius. But here's the deeper question. What happens when life becomes unpredictable? When routine collapses? When stress rises? When your system gets disrupted? Systems are powerful, but systems are also fragile, and not everyone thrives under structure. Some people flourish in flexibility. This is where Kaizen enters.
Kaizen means continuous improvement, but it is not a productivity hack. It is not a habit stack. It is not street culture. It is a philosophy of gentle evolution. Kaizen was developed in post-war Japan. It helped rebuild industries, but more importantly, it rebuilt mindsets. Instead of forcing dramatic change, Kaizen asks, what is the smallest improvement possible today? Not impressive, not heroic, just possible. Imagine 2 people wanting to start exercising. Atomic Habits says, do 2 push-ups daily, track it. Kaizen might say, just put on your workout clothes, and if you feel like stopping there, stop. Why? Because Kaizen understands something profound about the brain. The brain resists threat. Big goals feel threatening. Rigid systems feel demanding. Streaks feel like pressure. Kaizen lowers the threat level to 0. And when threat is 0, resistance disappears. This is not laziness. This is neuroscience. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, activates when change feels overwhelming. Atomic Habits bypasses resistance through structure. Kaizen dissolves resistance through gentleness. Both work, but for different nervous systems.
Let's go deeper. People high in conscientiousness, structured, organized, goal-oriented often thrive with Atomic Habits. They love trackers, routines, checklists, systems. Structure energizes them. Progress metrics motivate them. But creative, intuitive personalities, they often feel suffocated by rigid systems. They start strong, then they feel boxed in, then they rebel, then they quit, and they assume, I lack discipline. No, they chose the wrong method. Atomic Habits builds systems. Kaizen builds patience. Atomic Habits changes behavior. Kaizen changes resistance. Atomic Habits works beautifully in stable seasons of life. Kaizen survives chaos. Imagine, you change jobs, your parent gets sick, you travel frequently, your child wakes up at night. A strict 5:30 a.m. routine collapses. A streak-based identity cracks. But Kaizen says, improve something small today. That's it. 5-minute walk. 1 better meal choice. 3 mindful breaths. Progress without pressure. Consistency without rigidity. That's resilience.
Here's something uncomfortable. Habit culture has created quiet shame. People feel proud when streaks are alive. They feel broken when streaks die. External metrics become emotional validation. That is extrinsic motivation. But long-term change thrives on intrinsic motivation. Kaizen asks, who are you becoming? Not, how many days did you track? Kaizen is slower, less flashy, less Instagrammable, but deeper. It cultivates identity through repetition of small integrity. You improve not to impress. You improve because improvement feels aligned. This mirrors principles from Mindset by Carol Dweck. Growth as an internal orientation, not an external scoreboard. And this is where the magic happens. When growth becomes identity, you no longer need streaks to continue.
Now here's the truth most people miss. You don't have to choose. The highest performers don't worship methods. They use tools. Here's the top 1% approach. Use Atomic Habits for keystone behaviors. Keystone habits are small actions that trigger ripple effects. For example, daily reading, morning movement, journaling. Structure works beautifully here. But use Kaizen for emotional regulation, nutrition, stress management, skill growth, creative work. These areas require flexibility. Structure for stability, philosophy for growth. You can even alternate seasonally. Stable season? Use systems. Chaotic season? Use principles. This prevents the all-or-nothing collapse.
Let me give you a simple self-diagnostic. Ask yourself, when you miss a day, what happens emotionally? If you feel, I'll reset and continue, Atomic Habits may suit you. If you feel, I've ruined everything, you may need Kaizen. Next question, do you enjoy tracking metrics, or do you find it draining? If metrics energize you, systems. If metrics stress you, philosophy. Third question, is your life predictable right now, or fluid and chaotic? Match method to season, not ego, not trend, not what's popular. Match it to reality. We are entering an era of extreme productivity pressure. Morning routines, cold plunges, 5 a.m. clubs, optimization culture. But the Japanese philosophy behind Kaizen reminds us, growth does not need to be loud. It needs to be consistent. A bamboo tree grows underground for years before rising rapidly. Silent growth is still growth. Atomic Habits gives you mechanics. Kaizen gives you mindset. Mechanics without mindset break under stress. Mindset without mechanics drifts without direction. Together, they create sustainable transformation.
This was never about books. It was never about methods. It was about self-awareness. The best method is the one that respects your nervous system, the one that aligns with your personality, the one that survives your worst week, not your best week, because real life is not lived in perfect streaks. It is lived in messy seasons. And the people who win long-term are not the most disciplined, they are the most adaptive. So here's the question, are you someone who thrives under structure or someone who grows through gentleness? Neither is superior. But choosing incorrectly can cost you years. Start small, choose wisely, and remember, Atomic Habits builds systems, Kaizen builds endurance. One optimizes behavior, the other stabilizes identity. The top 1% don't argue which is better. They master both, and then they evolve beyond both. One small step at a time.